Hello, my dear friend. Welcome to the session of Wellness Wonder. Wellness. Wellness is the act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental outcomes, health outcomes, you can say. So that instead of just surviving, you are thriving. To understand the significance of wellness, it is important to understand how it is linked to our life and how we can feel wellness and wonder in our life. When life has got you in a slump, turn to these inspirational short stories. Not only is reading them like getting an internet hug for the soul, but they just may spark an idea or change in you for the better. So listen short stories and get ready to smile. My dear friend, everyone has a story in his life. Here is a story of a 24-year-old boy who was traveling along with his father in a train, and he was just sitting by the side of window of the train. Suddenly he shouted, "Dad, look, the trees are going behind." Dad smiled, and a young couple sitting nearby looked at the 24-year old's childish behavior with pity. Suddenly, again, the boy exclaimed, "Dad, look, the clouds are running with us." The couple now could not resist and said to the old man, "Why don't you take your son to a good doctor?" The old man smiled and said, "I did, and we are just coming from the hospital. My son was blind from the birth. He just got his eyes today." Every single person on the planet has a story. So don't judge people before you truly know them. Their truth might surprise you because wellness has come in the life of this 24-year-old boy when he got his eyes and he sees the world with his new eyes, newly born eye, you can say. Similarly, a man's favorite donkey falls into a deep dug. He can't pull out no matter how hard he tries. So he decided to bury it alive. Now he started to pour salt into the donkey from the above. The donkey feels the load and shakes it off and steps on it. More soil is poured. Now donkey again shakes it off and steps up. The more the load was poured, the higher it rose, and by the noon, the donkey was grazing in the green pastures nearby. After much shaking off and stepping up, one will graze in the green pastures. This is the wellness, and this is the wonder, and this happens in the life. Similarly, there is a story of elephant, the elephant rope. A man was passing by the side. He sees the elephants. He suddenly stopped, confused with the fact that huge animals like elephant were being held by only a small rope tied to their front leg. No chains, no cages. It was obvious that the element could at any time break away from the bonds, but for some reason they did not. He saw a trainer nearby and asked why these animals just stood there and made no attempt to get away. Well, trainer said, when they are very young and much smaller, we use the same size rope to tie them, and at that time, it was enough to hold them. As they grew up, they are conditioned now to believe they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free. The man was amazed. How many of us go through life hanging on to a belief that we cannot do something simply because we failed at it once before? Failure is part of learning, so we should never give up the struggle in life. And when you do not give up struggle in your life, you feel a wonder. Your life is filled with wonder. Now there is short story of potatoes, eggs, and coffee beans. Once upon a time, a daughter complained to her father that her life was miserable and that she did not know how she was going to make it. She was tired of fighting and struggling all the time. It seemed just as one problem was solved, another one soon followed. This is the reality in life. When we solve one problem, another problem follows us. Her father was safe, took her to the kitchen. He filled the three pots with water and placed each one on a fire. Once the three pots began to boil, he placed potatoes in one pot, eggs